Hi, this is Jackie again. It's, what day is it? It's Friday, April 2nd. It's about 9:45 at night. I just got back from, there was a lecture down at the planetarium in Hollywood. Fun, I guess. I wish we could have stayed for the whole thing, but I guess my little brother got tired, so we had to leave early. We made it through the first half of it, which was about 35 minutes long, and it was pretty interesting. I mean, normally I'm not interested in that kind of thing, but, you know, I mean, a lecture sounds like it would be really boring, but it was actually pretty fun. I enjoyed it. What else did I do today? I went down to Joann's to get some yarn needles because I just about finished my sock. It just needs the toe closed up, and then it will be wearable. And I started on the second one. Coming along pretty well. I should be able to turn the heel by tomorrow. So I finally saw Alice in Wonderland, which I was pretty excited about. I have very mixed feelings on that movie. I really, really loved Tim Burton, and everyone I had talked to about the movie said it was pretty much your generic Tim Burton movie, generic Danny Elfman music, generic Johnny Depp role, which for me isn't a bad thing because I'm a big fan of all of them, and the cast for that movie was amazing. It had almost all my favorite actors in it. It had Johnny Depp, of course. It had Anne Hathaway, Helena Bonham Carter, Alan Rickman, Sir Christopher Lee, Timothy Spall. There's someone else too that I'm forgetting. It'll come to me, I suppose. Yeah, music-wise, generic Danny Elfman soundtrack. I wasn't impressed. Score. The score was very generic. The soundtrack that had music inspired by the movie, etc. was, I really liked it. I enjoyed the soundtrack very much. Although, the song White Rabbit is on that soundtrack, but it's not the original version. It's some shitty remake by a nobody, and, you know, the original Jefferson Airplane one was amazing, and, you know, in my opinion, no one else has any business singing that, singing that song but Jefferson Airplane. I don't know why they chose to put a remake on it when the original was so good. I mean, it's like putting a remake of a Beatles song on a soundtrack when you can just use the Beatles song that was originally so awesome. But that's just my personal feelings on it. Plotline-wise, it was okay. I think, again, your generic Tim Burton movie. It was very much reminiscent of a book. I can't recall the title of it right now, but it was essentially what the movie was. It was a sort of sequel to Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, in which Alice returns to Wonderland and finds that the Red Queen is taken over. It wasn't, clearly it wasn't directly based on that book, but there's a lot of similarities to it that makes me think probably Tim Burton read that book, and that's probably where he got the idea from. Not saying that's a bad thing, but, you know, you can do better, Tim Burton, you can. Yeah, so storyline-wise, not impressed. I wasn't disappointed. Well, I wouldn't say I wasn't disappointed, but I was amused enough by it not to hate it. But visually, it was a masterpiece. I mean, that's probably the most visually pleasing movie I've seen this entire entire year, Frog Princess included, and I adored that movie, particularly for its visuals, especially since it was hand animated. But I would put it visually on par with Avatar. It's a different kind of visual pleasing, because Avatar is a very lush, bright, brilliant world, and whereas Wonderland is very subdued. There's a lot of saturation, dull colors, but the costuming and the atmosphere of the movie was absolutely brilliant. It was breathtaking, and I think it's worth seeing it just for the visual aspect, because everything else really wasn't worth the hype it was given. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did. I would probably actually even purchase the DVD just because it was such a visually astounding movie, and I look forward to the behind the scenes interviews, beside the scenes. I went to the library the other day and I picked up a volunteer application. I also have a job applications for Claire's, Borders, and I'm going to print one out for It to Grind and for Joann's as well, because a new Joann's just opened up near my house, and there's an It to Grind around the corner. Yeah, I'm actually not expecting to get a job out of the applications that I submit this time around, but I would really, really, really like to get the volunteer position at the library, because that's a reference I can put on a job application. So, it's a step in the right direction towards getting a job. Is that a buggy really? I hope not. I'm sorry, I'm really easily distracted tonight. Let's see, what else? Not much has been going on recently, actually. Aside from tonight's That Is a Bug festivities. I'm sorry. Aside from tonight's festivities, nothing really going on. I've been playing a lot of video games. I picked up Final Fantasy IX again. I actually tried to get into Final Fantasy VI, but I feel so stupid. I totally forgot what to do in that first retarded-ass boss fight against the electric escargot piece of shit, and I died, and I couldn't be more ashamed because that was a really, really easy. Well, no, I guess a lot of people have had trouble with that fight because it's a trick, is what it is. He cheats. But yeah, I used to have that game down so good. The only time I really got stuck was I went into Kefka's castle to do something or other, and there's a save room, and I saved, and right after that there's a really, really hard boss fight that I wasn't leveled up enough for, so I could go back to the last save file I had, which was before the end of the world. Yeah, not gonna happen, or so I just gave up at that point, and now I would like to pick it back up again, but I'm so distraught over my loss against escargot